You're here. Alone, aren't you? They didn't see it. Didn't care to look deeper. They don't believe in you. They probably never did. Why? Because they're busy measuring you against their tiny expectations, thinking they know what you're capable of. But they're wrong. They couldn't be more wrong. They're clueless about what lies inside you. About the fire you keep hidden from their shallow eyes. You don't need them. You never needed anyone to tell you who you are. Do they get it? No. They're too busy putting limits on you, on everyone, thinking they know everything. But here's the truth. They don't know a thing. Not about you, not about what you carry. Not about the things that keep you going, long after they've turned their backs. Remember this, they think you're just like them, bound by what's easy, afraid of what's hard. They don't understand that you were built to endure, to face whatever comes with silence, with grit. They see the surface, only what's visible. But what they can't see is what drives you, what fuels you, what you've been through that made you this relentless, this focused. So let them talk, let them doubt, let them dismiss you like you're nothing. Use it. Use every single ounce of it. It's fuel for the ones like you, the ones they overlook, ignore, misunderstand. They don't believe in you? Good. They've done you a favor. Now you have nothing to prove to them. Only to yourself. Every time they brush you off, every time they underestimate you, it's just another reminder, not a setback, not an insult, just another push to keep going. Let their doubts be your strength. You're not here to fit into their world, their ideas, their easy explanations. You're here to break every mold they've tried to put you in, to show yourself that there's more inside you than they could ever imagine. And don't expect them to see it. Don't expect applause or approval or anything. You don't need their support. You don't need their belief. That's not what fuels you, not what keeps you alive. The world isn't built for people like you to be accepted. It's built to crush anything that doesn't fit. But you don't fit, do you? You don't bend. You don't break. Not for them. Not for anyone. Keep going. You're stronger than they'll ever know. And one day, when you've risen past every limit they tried to set, they'll wonder how they missed it, how they didn't see it. But it won't matter. You'll have moved on, past their doubts, beyond their understanding. Let them watch. Let them doubt. Because when the dust settles, the only one left standing will be you. They'll never get it, and that's fine. Not everyone's meant to see the road you're on, especially those who think they've got you figured out from a distance. Let them underestimate you. Let them make their small judgments. They think, they know, struggle. They think they understand grit, but they have no idea what it's like to walk your path. They can't feel the weight you carry, or the strength it took to build yourself up from nothing. That's why their words don't mean a thing. They don't see what you see, and that's your edge. They're walking blind, following the easy road, looking for shortcuts, leaning on each other for validation. But you've learned the hard way that you don't need anyone's approval to keep moving forward. Every time they doubt you, every time they turn their back, it's just a reminder that you're on your own. And that's exactly how you like it. It's easier to focus in the silence they leave behind. They can keep talking, keep whispering behind your back, keep counting you out. Their voices only add to the quiet you thrive in. Think about it. How many times have they written you off already? How many times have you heard their dismissals, felt their doubt lingering in the air? And yet, you're still here. You're still pushing, still fighting, still proving to yourself that you don't need their validation, their understanding, or their belief. You're past that now. You've outgrown their expectations, and they're the ones who will never catch up. You don't need to look back to see who's still watching, because none of them matter. They don't know the hours you put in, the sacrifices, the late nights, the silence that stretches around you like armor. They don't know how many times you've pushed through when others would have quit, when others would have folded under half the weight. They think you're just like them, weak, needing reassurance. But you don't need any of it. All you need is the reminder of what they said, of the way they looked away, the way they dismissed you. That's fuel enough to keep going, to push harder than they could even comprehend. Every moment of doubt, every whisper, every laugh behind your back, keep it close, like stones in your pockets. Let it weigh you down so you can feel it, Remember it. Use it. You don't shake it off. You don't ignore it. You take it in. You let it sit there right next to the fire inside and feed it. Because you're not like them. You don't let things slide. You remember every single one of their doubts. Every single one of their sneers. And you turn it into fuel. You turn it into grit. You walk alone, but that's strength. Solitude isn't your weakness, it's your power. They run from it, but you lean into it, embrace it. That's why they don't get you, why they can't figure you out. They're terrified of being alone, terrified of facing themselves without someone there to prop them up, to validate them. You're not scared. You've been alone before, and you'll be alone again if you have to. That's what separates you from them. While they're scrambling for approval, you're building yourself up brick by brick. They can't see it, but that's their loss. They can't see the depth of your resolve, the weight of your discipline, the silence you've learned to thrive in. They don't understand that real strength isn't loud, isn't flashy. Real strength is quiet, like steel forged in fire, like roots growing deep in dark soil. They don't have that depth, and they never will. Their strength depends on each other, on the safety of their little circles. But your strength is in your solitude, in the way you push forward, no matter who's watching or who's there to applaud. And don't get it twisted. This isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. You don't need to drag them along or make them see your worth. That's wasted energy. Let them think what they want. Let them believe whatever they want. Your path isn't for them to understand. It's yours alone. You don't have time to waste on convincing people who were never meant to come along on this journey. They'll watch from a distance, and that's fine. They'll try to keep up, try to make sense of your moves, but they'll never understand what drives you. Because they don't believe in you, and that's exactly why you'll go further than they ever will. Their disbelief is the foundation you stand on, the fuel that keeps your fire burning long after they've given up, gone home, quit. You're not here for them. You're here for the challenge, for the battle, for the climb. You're here to push yourself to places they can't even imagine. And one day, when you've broken every boundary, surpassed every limit they set, You'll look back, not for validation, but to see how far you've come. They'll be the ones left wondering, left regretting, left empty-handed, while you keep moving forward. And by then, there'll be nothing more than a memory, a ghost in your shadow, a reminder of the disbelief that pushed you past every limit they tried to place on you. So keep going, because in the end, their disbelief is nothing compared to your will. They don't get what it takes to keep moving when everything's against you. They've never been here, staring down the darkness, with nothing but your own voice telling you to keep going. They wouldn't last a minute in your shoes. They'd crumble under the weight of it, under the silence, under the isolation. They rely on each other too much, on voices outside of them, telling them what they're worth, telling them who they are. But you found that voice within yourself. You had to, because there was no one else there to do it for you. You're not like them. You don't need to be seen. You don't need to be understood. That's a weakness they'll never shake. The need for someone else to confirm they're on the right path. But you know, deep down, that the only one who can validate you is you. That's the edge you have. The thing they'll never understand. No matter how many times they look at you and try to figure out what drives you. They'll call it arrogance. They'll call it stubbornness. But you know, it's something they'll never have. It's the strength to walk alone, to push forward, even when the whole world turns its back. Let them say what they will. Let them doubt. Let them talk. Let them turn their eyes away. You don't need their gaze, their approval, or their acceptance. Your worth isn't tied to their opinions, their fleeting support, or their empty words. You know exactly who you are, and you're not here to change that for anyone. You're here to face yourself, to conquer the challenges they don't even have the courage to approach. They can watch from a distance, judge from their safe places, and tell themselves you're going to fail. But it won't make a difference. You're built for this, hardened by every doubt, every moment alone, every step you had to take without a soul to lean on. And that's why you're unstoppable. You've learned to rely on the one person who won't ever let you down. Yourself. While they're out there looking for validation, leaning on each other, afraid to stand alone, you're carving out a path they couldn't dream of